Howdy folks, our Permaculture Newbies here, and apparently November, December is Miata disaster month. Let me show you what's going on here. That's right, I have no airbag. So, little history lesson on this vehicle. I may have mentioned it before. I purchased this vehicle with some issues and salvage title. Story I was given was that the vehicle had a minor accident, but enough to deploy the airbags, and the airbags weren't functional. The airbags were disconnected, and I shouldn't count on them in an accident. To be honest, I actually forgot about that. You might remember I talked about wrapping my steering wheel. I did that because I didn't want to lose my airbag. It occurred to me because someone reminded me. When I bought this car, I was on chemo and had a lot of mind-altering drugs. My memory isn't that great of that period. So the original owner, or the previous owner, actually warned me that the airbags would not function. I forgot all about that. So I probably would have switched to quick disconnect wheel or something previously if I had remembered that. But anyway, once I remembered that, I was under the impression the airbags wouldn't function. They were disconnected. About 2 weeks ago, I'm jumping in my car after doing some Christmas shopping. Hadn't even turned the engine on yet. Just put the key in the ignition. I'm leaning over here to put my phone in the holster, and bam, airbag deploys. Fortunately, I was leaning over here, like I said, instead of being right in front of the steering wheel. Yeah, the airbag deployed. The car wasn't even on. I certainly didn't get into an accident. It just deployed. In investigating, I did pull the airbag module out, as you saw. The airbag module was connected. I was told they were completely disconnected and to not count on them in an accident. So while the previous owner did warn me the airbags probably wouldn't function in an accident, he also told me they were disconnected. So I didn't get the whole truth there either. But what I'm going to be doing today is installing this guy right here. I actually had this already. This is a Grant 773, I think. I had this. This was on my Volvo 240, if you recall. I don't know if I have any videos of that vehicle. That is a future project. It's coming back. I'm actually, in my free time, what little free time I have, I've been working on that as well. So you might be seeing that here in the future. But yeah, so I'm going to install that wheel with an NRG quick disconnect and NRG short, well actually a Chinese copy of an NRG short hub. It's a 160 same one you normally use on Miatas. I'm kind of going to be making it up as I go along. I've seen a couple of tutorials on how to do this. Video wise, the Sunday Drive has a pretty decent video. Gearheads has a pretty decent video. Gingium, I think, has even done a video. What all those have in common, though, is they're all NA Miatas. NBs should be very similar. I guess we'll find out. So I guess first thing to keep in mind, if you still have a functional airbag, the first thing you'd want to do is disconnect the battery. I'm not super concerned about that because I don't have an airbag any longer. Having had the airbag blow up on me, that's not something I would want to repeat. So I would be disconnecting the battery if I still had an airbag. So first up is to loosen this nut. This is 21 millimeter, and I've got it loose, and then you start just yanking top, bottom, side. I'm going to do that off camera because it's just me, so I've got no one to hold the camera while I do this. It only took a couple of yanks actually, so it's off. Now I have my steering wheel locked so that I could use the wrench. If you have power tools, that's even better. I have an impact, but I forgot to bring it with me. So now I'm going to lock the wheel and center it before I go any further. Unlock the wheel and center it. Off. Next thing, we're going to disconnect the horn button from the airbag clock spring and then pull the airbag connectors out, and that's it. Wheels off. Next up, remove the plastic surround. On mine, it's 3 bolts, and interestingly, this one was broken and stripped, but the screw is still there. This one does not appear to be broken, but the screw is missing. And this one back here, the screw is actually still stuck in there, but wasn't actually tightened. And I don't recall having that off myself before, but clearly it's been off the vehicle before. Then we're going to remove the clock spring, which looks like these three screws here. This is the airbag clock spring, from what I understand. This is not, this doesn't have anything to do with the turn signals. So you can remove this and your turn signals will still auto-cancel. At least that's what I've been told. I'll let you know. You have two connectors. This guy, I believe this is going to be for the airbag, and then this one is going to be for the horn. I'm actually going to check continuity between that pin here and the horn output, but it sure looks like it. That looks like the same thing. Yeah, I'm 99% certain, but we're going to find out for sure here in just a moment. I'm going to verify that this is the horn wire. I stuck a paper clip in there, and I'm just going to complete the circuit the same way the horn button would. And sure enough, that's the horn wire there. Okay, so a couple things to consider. Since we know this is the horn wire, I chose to vampire tap into it. Just in case if I choose to sell this car down the line, I'll keep the old steering wheel and offer it to the next owner. And if they want to try to put the factory wheel back together and try to figure out what's wrong with the airbag system, they still can, and I haven't made any permanent changes. I'll keep the clock spring as well. But back to what we were saying about the airbag clock spring having nothing to do with the turn signals. I can prove that here, and here's what you need to know. This is your turn signal canceling cam right here. So turn the turn signal to the right, turn the wheel to the right until it hits that, and then when you turn it back, there, just canceled the turn signal. Do it on the left, turn it to the left, cancels it. So this is what cancels the turn signals. Has nothing to do with your airbag clock spring. One more thing. So this is going to be the contact for my horn. Some guys use paper clip. Someone on the Miata forums, I'll link to the tutorial. This is really what I'm following. Like I said, there weren't really any NB videos, but there was a really good NB steering wheel write-up on Miata.net, and he suggested using a barrette, hair barrette, and it actually works really well. I think it'll work really well. It seems like it's going to make good contact there. You do have to scrape off the paint in a few locations, but it seems like it's going to work. So next up is going to be, this is a Kyostar, not an NRG, but seems like it's going to work just fine. If we look, that's going to rub on there just fine when I'm done. I've got that tightened down to where I think it's going to make good contact, but we have a problem because if I bridge these, I should get a horn, and as you can see, I don't. So something's wrong here. Either my vampire tap isn't good, or yeah, I'm not really sure yet. So a little more work needed. Turned out I just had a poor connection at my ring terminal. As I was going to take this apart to try to troubleshoot it, the wire pulled out of my ring terminal. So I just put a new ring terminal on it, and now we get horn. So next up is the NRG quick disconnect. Comes in two halves, obviously, steering wheel side here and the hub side, and the wires just go on there. NRG logo up with the, you can see there's a little hole drilled there, little tab, just shows you which way is up. So this goes on with these screws, even comes with a crappy little Allen wrench. Okay, there's that. And then this goes on here, and that's that. So take it off, you push this down. It's hard to do one-handed, that's for sure. And then pull the ring, push this off, pull the ring. I can't do it one-handed, holding the camera, but you get the idea anyway. So next up is going to be the wheel. Now we got a problem. It's a Grant wheel with 5 holes, and it's a this hub is meant for like a Momo or a Nardi with European or Japanese style NRG, something like that, with 6 holes. So I've got this guy here. Actually, I have a new one on order, but it's not going to be here for at least another few days, and I wanted to get this done today because it's one of my last days off before going back to work after the holidays. This guy right here is a Momo to Grant adapter. This is a used one. Again, same vehicle. I took the other wheel off my Volvo 240, but it'll work here as well. So basically it converts a 5-hole pattern to 6-hole. So to use this guy, basically here we go, the 6 holes here. So you install these Allen bolts through on these 5. The top one is going to be the same for the 5-point and the 6-point, so you just match it up to the top. Go ahead and screw these in, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the Grand. And finally we hook up the horn. I actually had to redo both of these connectors here. One was the wrong type, one was a male, and the other one was female, but the female one from NRG was all squished and wouldn't fit any longer. So I put new female spade terminals on both sides. I'm going to hook this in. Now this horn button is a prancing moose. This is a Volvo thing, kind of a parody of the Ferrari logo. A fellow named Dave Barton makes these, or used to make them. I heard he's had some trouble with Volvo, so I don't know if he's still making them, but this is actually going to get replaced. This is the only horn button I had because it was on my Volvo. I keep saying that. I have another horn button on order, but it also isn't going to be here for a little bit, and because this Volvo is a non-runner right now, no big deal, robbing parts temporarily at least. Okay, so there it is. Let me show you how it works. I got to do this with the selfie cam because I tried to do it while I was holding the camera and I just couldn't do it one-handed. But there's a release here. You push down on the release, pull back on the ring, it comes right off. You put it back on, you just slide it on and then rotate it real quick until it locks into place, and you're done. First impressions, feels pretty good. I mean, I'm familiar with this wheel on another vehicle. One thing I did notice, the 773 Grant is a 330 millimeter or 320 millimeter, 330 I think. But anyway, significantly smaller than the factory Miata wheel. It actually cuts off the top of my gauges from my point of view. And I'm a fairly short guy at 5'8". I'd imagine someone, you know, taller than me, someone 6 foot, probably wouldn't be able to see the gauges very well with this wheel. I can see them. The oil pressure gauge, the very top of the numbers are cut off, but like the speed at like 120 miles per hour is cut off, but otherwise it's fine. Yeah, take a little test drive. Seems like I got the wheel centered pretty well, which is good. That clicking, if you hear it, that's my fire extinguisher mount. Fire extinguisher bouncing around slightly. Yeah, that's a video for another day. Not super thrilled with that fire extinguisher mount. If you heard a little bit grinding there, my brake pads are just about done. That's going to be another project for very soon. Like I said, it seems like November, December was a month for having problems. But yeah, I like it. It's comfortable. I mean, the factory Miata NRG wheel was pretty comfortable in itself, to be honest. I wouldn't have probably changed it if it weren't for the airbag.